how to sell your clients anything. That's the topic for today's video. If you started your interior design business and you're struggling to get inquiries, to sign more clients, then watch this video. I put together 10 steps that I believe you should be following if you want to get more ideal clients. It's not a magic pill. You do have to do the work. It also doesn't mean that you can charge your clients anything. It does have to make sense. There's a process. So I hope you like this video and let's go. Okay, number one, you've got to know your ideal client. I have other videos talking more about this, and it's really important because it's kind of the first phase, right? If you don't know who you're selling to, you're gonna have a lot of trouble understanding what to sell, how much to sell it for, what to do, where to find them. So when you start your business, it's not always gonna be easy for you to understand who you're talking to. For example, when I started my interior design business, or actually my outsourcing firm, I thought I was going to be working with interior designers and architects, men and women. And it ended up that I'm basically only working with women. I probably have a couple clients who are men, but most of my clients are women. They also are moms. They are between 35 and 55. Most of them live in the United States. And so initially it was very difficult for me to talk to my ideal client because I wasn't sure who I was targeting. So what I did was that I created content, and after I got a few clients, I built an ideal client profile or client avatar, the way that they call it in marketing. So once you've had a couple clients, 2, 3, 4 clients, you're going to be able to build a client avatar based on what they have in common. So that's how I was able to see that I was working with women, that they were moms, that they started their businesses to have more freedom and more flexibility to be able to spend more time with their family. And so I started building the profile after I got a few clients. And this is what you should be doing as well. It's not just about understanding their age group or where they come from, or if they have kids or not. It's also about understanding where these people hang out. And by that, I mean that you need to understand where you should be speaking to them so that your message gets to them. Because if you have the right messaging, but you talk to your ideal client on the wrong platform, it's never going to get to them. So for instance, if your ideal client is on Pinterest, but you only talk to them on LinkedIn, they're never going to see your messaging and you're never going to get a lot of inquiries because you're not in the right place. So understanding your ideal client is going to allow you to understand also where they hang out and where you should be talking to them. Number 2, once you're clear about your ideal client, you should get more clarity on what your product or service is. The clearer I got about who I was talking to, the clearer I got about what they needed. You need to be clear about their pain points. What are they struggling with? So for me, again, my ideal client was struggling with time. They were moms and they were designers and business owners, and they lacked the time to do everything. They also lacked the skills. A lot of them don't have an interior design degree. They started during the pandemic because they're amazing at design, but because they don't have an interior design diploma, it means that they lack the skills to do a floor plan, for example. So this helped me understand that their pain points were that they lack the time, they lack the skills. They didn't necessarily want to spend so much time doing admin tasks, but more time doing design. So this was enough for me to get started and understand what my service should be. We started doing design work for them, so doing floor plans and helping them with presentations. And now we're offering also branding and web design and system setup because they are things that they need to build a successful business. And this ideal client of mine prefers to set up everything with the same company because once they start building trust with someone, in that case me, they would rather work with me on everything and have me set up everything for them rather than have to go to different companies. So that's how you're going to start building a business that targets their pain points, targets your ideal client. You need to understand who they are, where they hang out, what their pain points are, and this is how you're going to be able to build a strong product or service. Number 3, once you're clear about all that, you're going to have to be prepared to share a lot of free value And it's not about just selling your services. You have to build trust and credibility. It means that people don't know you. They have never seen your work before, and it's not enough for them to see what you do. They need to trust you. They need to want to work with you. They need to see that you're good at what you do, that you are an authority in your field. And this comes by providing free value. So, for instance, if someone goes to your website because they're, or your Instagram because they're interested in renovating their kitchen, and then they get a lot of free value from your website or your Instagram. Maybe you have even a lead magnet or a freebie. So maybe you built a PDF giving your 5 top tips when renovating your kitchen. And so when they download that and they get so much free value, it's gonna show them that you know what you're talking about and you're actually helping them for free. And this builds trust and credibility. And even though they might not be ready to buy your services right now, along the way, if they join your email list or they keep looking at your Instagram account, at some point when they're ready financially, they will reach out and they will become a client. So my way of building trust and credibility through free value is this YouTube channel. For example, I provide free value because I care a lot about helping and supporting interior designers. I know how difficult it is to start your own interior design business. It's not just about being a designer anymore. So there are lots of things to consider, and this is my passion. I love to share what I've learned because I know how difficult it was for me when I got started, and I learn every day. Like, being an entrepreneur is a struggle every single day because you have to face the challenges and things come up and you need to learn to do new things, and it's always uncomfortable when you have to do new things. So this is my way of sharing free value. I have the YouTube channel, I have the Instagram account, and then I have a blog and a newsletter. So anytime I can, I'm gonna share free value with my audience. And this is how I build trust, and down the line, they will reach out at some point, not all of them, but I have had clients who had been following me for over a year before they reached out to get on a discovery call. And this goes with number 4, which is build relationships. You do have to care about who your ideal client is. As I just said, it's my passion to help interior designers. And as such, like, one of the main things that I do as a business owner of an outsourcing firm is to talk to interior designers. So I do talk to designers on Instagram. If you guys send me comments on YouTube, I'm gonna reach out as well. I reach out to designers who answer my newsletter. So you do have to create relationship and understand that before people buy from you, so before people hire you as their interior designers, they need to trust you and like you. So this all comes down to if you have 2 interior designers with the same type of services, what's going to differentiate you from the other designer is, well, one, the price, of course. If your services are double the ones of the other designers, even though you have the same services and the same design style, what is going to differentiate you from this other designer is your personality. So it's important that you bring that across when you talk to people. And number 5 is listen more. So when you get on discovery calls, this I learned from a marketing company in New York, it's all about listening more to what the person in front of you is talking about. So it's about letting them tell you what they need, tell you what their issues are, instead of you just talking for an hour about your services and why they should be working with you. It's all about listening. It's going to help you build a better product as well. Another really cool tip that I have is that I now record my discovery calls. So I don't use Zoom, I use Google Meet. And so Google Meet, you can't record the video. But what I do is I use the voice recorder on my MacBook and I record the discovery calls, because the words that your prospect clients use are very important. It's going to help you with your messaging. So when you post on Instagram, on Pinterest, on your website, you can use the same words that this prospect client used. So for everybody else who goes to your website, they will see messaging that really speaks to them. And this is how you're going to be able to attract more of your ideal clients. And number 6, keep improving your offer, so your product or your service. A business should work on a consistent basis to improve the services or the products, because when you start your interior design business, you will not have all the elements. The more you work with people, the more discovery calls you do. It's just like when you used to do interviews, I always used to think the more interviews I can get, the more I'm going to be able to practice, and the more I'm going to learn, and the better I'm going to get. It's the exact same thing in that case. The more discovery calls you're going to get on, the more clients you're going to have, the better you're going to be at understanding your ideal client, and the more you're going to be able to improve your services. Number 7, focus on the transformation and not on the features. And by that, I just mean that when you speak to your ideal client on Instagram, for example, you should be always referring to their pain points first, or the transformation that they want. So either you attract your ideal clients, you get more people to see your posts by outlining a pain point that they will connect to, so they're going to want to see what you have to say about that, or you focus on the transformation that they want to get. But you shouldn't just focus on the features of what you have to offer. So, everything that's included in your services and why you're so amazing and why they should be working with you. They don't care about the details. They care about how they're going to feel after they work with you. So let's take the example of the kitchen renovation again. You could do a post about kitchen renovations, and the tagline could be something like, how to get through your kitchen renovation stress-free. And then you outline the steps, or you can talk about your services, so your call to action, your CTA. At the end of the post, at the end of the carousel, could be about your services and how you help them through the kitchen renovation. But this should not be the main focus. You have to give free value, and you have to focus on the transformation that they will get after they work with you. And the same thing for me. For example, I'm looking at a post right now on my Instagram page, and the tagline is, want more freedom in your business. This is one of the things that my ideal client really wants. So this was the title, and then in next slides, I focused on how they could get to that and how our company helps them get more freedom in their business, which was the call to action at the end of the carousel. And of course, it's going to attract them more. I'm not going to talk about, first we're going to get on the call with you, and then our team is going to do this and this and that. Those are features, and it's not really helping them right now. It's not what you should be focusing on when you speak to them. Number 8, it's really important that you care about who you're talking to, about who you work with. People see when you're genuine or when you're just there for the money, for the sale. I like to be completely transparent and honest with my ideal clients. Sometimes I get on the call, and when I see that actually the services they're interested in will not work for them at this point in their businesses, I'm transparent and I tell them that they shouldn't be investing in that specific service at the moment. And I offer my suggestions. I always like to brainstorm. So I think that the more you care, the more people are going to see that they can trust you, and the more they're going to want to work with you, because they know that you have their best interest at heart. Number 9, this one was coming. You have to remove yourself from anything that you shouldn't be doing as a CEO, and you should focus more on what you should be doing as a CEO. So your zone of genius, it could be the design, but also a few things. For example, everything that I outlined, it means that you have to have more time to work on the strategy, on understanding your ideal client more, on how you can improve your offer. And if you're always working on the project, so in the business rather than on the business, you will not have the space that you need to analyze the discovery calls, to understand what services are working, which ones aren't working, to analyze the feedback that you get. So it's important that you free up some of your time to work as a CEO in your business. And as such, it means that you need to delegate more. And once you're clear about what you should be focusing on as a CEO in your business, then number 10 is that you need to surround yourself with the right help. So it means hiring people with more skills than you in the tasks that you want them to do. I see a lot of interior designers hiring assistants that don't necessarily have a background in interior design, so they need to teach them everything. They waste a lot of time trying to teach these assistants or junior designers what they need to do, and it means that you're not freeing up time at all. I had the case of a client who decided that instead of outsourcing, she was going to start hiring. She hired 2 junior designers, and what happened was that she spent a lot of time training them. And once they were trained and they stayed for maybe a couple of years, of course, they left to work with a bigger company where they were going to learn more. And it meant that she didn't manage to free up time because she actually taught them everything that she knew. And then they left her, and she was left to do everything by herself. And this is why having the help, the support of an outsourcing firm like ours is great, because you know that whenever you need help, you have this entire team of 14 plus people there to help you. And when you don't need the help, you also have no obligation to get the help. But it's important that you hire up. So our clients know that when they send work our way, there will be a designer with a lot more skills than them to do this specific task. And it's someone who will also be faster, because the only thing that they do is that specific task. So for example, 3D rendering, we have someone who does 3D rendering all day long. It means they're really good and they're really fast. And so when you get help, make sure that it's people you can trust. It's people who are going to help you elevate your business, the work that you produce for your clients. This is going to make a huge difference in how you're going to be able to grow a sustainable and successful business. Once you start taking into account these 10 steps and you're consistent with everything that you do, remember that the first year or even a second year, you might not get the results that you want. It took me a year before I started to get more inquiries. In the first year, I didn't have that many clients, but I kept on going, which meant I was super consistent because I knew where my ideal client was hanging out, which was Instagram, blogging, on my newsletter. So I just kept going, even though I didn't have the number of inquiries that I was expecting. I just kept on going, and I kept on getting better at what I was doing, at the messaging, because the more I did it, the clearer I was about who I was talking to. The other thing that really helped me was when I started removing myself from the day-to-day activities in my business, and I started focusing more of my time on the strategy and on the clients. If you only want to work on high-end projects, so the clients who have a higher budget, you also need to remember that if you are doing everything in your business, you will not be able to provide the high-end experience that this type of client is expecting from you. When you understand who you're talking to, who your ideal client is, you're going to be able to understand what they need. So someone who has a lower budget is not going to expect the same quality of client experience that someone who is ready to invest a lot in your services is expecting. And the more time you can spend on fine-tuning all the 10 steps that I outlined today, the more inquiries and the better clients, ideal clients, you're going to be able to sign. I hope this video was helpful. If you want me to talk into more detail about one of these points or all of them, write a comment and I will do my best to record a new video. I'll see you next time.